Hey guys, welcome back to another match reaction. Slightly different one. I'm using another phone today, and the mic that I normally use isn't with me today, so gonna have to deal with the the standard iPhone mic. But Arsenal, yeah, Burnley 0, Arsenal 2, and to be fair, I said it. I was speaking to my friends earlier, just before the game ended. But that first half, that was a very good first half. I think the first 8 minutes we were kind of trying to get into the game. Burnley were trying to probe us, but they couldn't. But I think for the majority of that 90 minutes, we nullified Burnley quite well. We stopped them from playing their football, and we actually done quite well because I thought this was going to be a very tricky game. We saw what Burnley did against Liverpool earlier in the season, where they kind of, Scott Parker's set them up to be a very defensive team in terms of how they set up in their shape. They've got like not even two banks of four. It's like a back five they have like the two holdings just in front of them, and it made it very tricky for Liverpool to break them down and then end up scoring, a stupid penalty from Hannibal. But we done quite well. I think today there was a lot of good little individual performances. I think I've been quite critical last season, especially of that left-hand side for Arsenal. I've never been really convinced with that Declan Rice, Trossard, Calafiori kind of set up on that side. I last season I just didn't think it worked as well, but today I think that side has been our best performers today. To be honest, we played a lot better on that side than I thought. That right hand side wasn't as good today, but that left hand side, Trossard and Calafiori linked up really well, and they gave us a lot of our best chances came from that side, especially not necessarily our best chances, but essentially our best opportunities to score came from that side. Trossard, I've always said this about Trossard. His technical ability isn't enough to compensate for his lack of physicality. There was a few times there when Kyle Walker just completely nudged him off the ball like he wasn't anything. But I thought he had a very good game, Trossard, and even Declan Rice. I'm not a big fan of Declan Rice, but he had a very good game today. Won the ball, and this is what I would use him: winning the ball very high up, and creating that turnovers. There was a few times, although I will say this is away from home, but again, I thought our build-up still was a little bit slow at times. There was a lot of times when Calafiori would make that diagonal run in behind Kyle Walker or in behind one of the defenders, and that pass is there to just play that ball straight there. Rice doesn't make that pass, or Zubimendi kind of just takes a little too many touches and the chance is gone. And the same happened as well. Timber made the exact same run as Calafiori a few times. All those times when Timber would drop into that little space, into that little half space where you'd expect Declan Rice to be in, and that pass is there to just probe that ball past there, and then create that little turnover and push that ball forward. But they don't do it. We tend to be just a little bit too slow to move that ball between those channels, and those times when both fullbacks made that run inside and outside, and we didn't get that. And it's the same with our two wingers, with Saka and Trossard. They had a few times where they're making that run in behind and just need to just get that ball over, especially when we were like 1-0 or 2-0 up. There's that element of risk that we still need to take, because at some point during the game, Burnley need to now assess whether should we damage control or actually go for the game. And even when we were 2-0 up in the first half, there were still times that we could have got that ball over the top and created that chance. But speaking of Saka, I thought he had a very poor game. I'm not sure about what you guys think, but I don't think Saka played any good today. He had that chance in the first half where he was one-on-one and that was a very good chance. He kind of scuffed the shot. He didn't get much power in it, and yeah, that could have just ultimately killed the game. But speaking of our attackers, Gyökeres, I've been quite critical of Gyökeres lately, but definitely the last two couple games where he scored, it's definitely brought up his confidence a little bit more. Today was one of the first few games I've seen where he's an actual focal point up top, where he's actually being an anchorman for Saka and Trossard to carry on our attacks, and even for Eze as well. There was a nice bit of centre forward play he had towards the end of the first half, where he held up the ball really well for Eze, and Eze just kind of picked it up from him, and then obviously we drew the foul. But those are the kind of the small little things you kind of want to see Gyökeres do, because when you're not scoring, because there's going to be games when he's not scoring, because he's not going to be scoring every game, but at least be a genuine focal point for us, be a target man for us, and actually let's use you as an actual anchor man, because the first few games this season where we've had him, he's been a bit lackluster, a bit slow to turn, the ball's bubbling off his shin pad. Today wasn't really wrestling with the defenders as much, and I was quite shocked he got taken off. Maybe I think it was potentially an injury, because throughout the first half I don't remember seeing anything that could suggest that he needed to be taken off. But I thought today was one of his better games. He held up the ball really well. He took his goal. That should obviously bring up his confidence a bit more. And you can see after that goal, he started to play a little bit more. There's one bit of play I was surprised where he dropped deep to get the ball and then passed it off to Saka. I was like, okay, this is now something that I wasn't seeing as much, and I guess it's because that confidence is now up for him. So he's starting to play a little bit more freely, which is good for his confidence. But Gyökeres definitely had a much better game today than he normally does. Even that goal he scored, very good centre forward play. Just stick to your position, hold your position, and that ball kind of comes back across. You just need to head it in for a simple tap in. And there was one bit of chance. Yeah, it was in the counter attack where Dubravka made like a double save and the ball went off the line. I can't remember if Gyökeres was part of that, but overall, I think he had a very good game. Gyökeres, I don't think he had a poor game at all. I thought this was one of his better games, and I'm hoping that's kind of kick him up in the backside and got him that confidence that he needs, because he's a confidence player, you can tell, even because once he scored that first goal, he started to drop a lot more and collect the ball, and that should be an actual focal point for us. So that was good. Zubimendi, just the usual Zubimendi, just controlled the game, reduced the speed of the game, and I like the fact that in that first half we controlled that game really well. When we needed to kind of pick up the pace a little bit, we done that relatively well. Not through the middle. I think a lot of our good play came from the flanks, from Trossard. A lot of our good play came from Trossard. Saka, not so much. I don't think he had a very good game today. But Zubimendi, I thought he had a okay-ish game. He didn't do anything exciting, and he's not supposed to. He's just there to just steady the ship, dictate the tempo of the game, especially from midfield. And that was a decent game from him. Who else? Declan Rice, I thought he was my man of the match. He had a very, very good game. He picked up the ball off the centre-backs, which I personally don't want Declan Rice to be up there. Sorry, to be that far away from the goal. I think most of his good work comes when he's on the other side, similar to how we kind of had Xhaka that final season before he went to Leverkusen. Just have him in that space where we played Marino last game. That's kind of where I want Declan Rice. But nonetheless, he kind of picked up that position today really well. Him and Zubimendi are starting to kind of form that partnership, and hopefully we can start to see that a lot more this season. But Declan Rice had a very good game. He won the ball, broke up play, and stopped Burnley from creating anything substantial. And I actually thought they didn't really do much today, Burnley. Whether that's because of the fact that we just completely stifled them in attack, or they're just a very, very poor side. Either or, it's still a very good performance from Declan Rice. Eze, I thought he had a quiet game. He had a few bits of individual brilliance here and there, but overall, I don't think he done much. And I'm not sure whether, it's because he's out of confidence, or something's going on in his life or something, but he's not had much of an impact in the last couple of games than he did when he first came. But so hopefully that kind of comes in. I'm surprised he put in Ethan. We'll get to that. But the two centre backs, yeah, they done all right. But the second half, yeah, I'll be honest, the second half it's with much of nothing. I think most of that was just Burnley, and I think Arsenal just kind of said, look, Burnley, we don't really rate you like that, so you have the ball, and just try and break us down, and they couldn't do it. They barely had a shot on target. I know that free kick towards the end, which I'll get to that again, which was their only one I can remember. They had that header towards like the mid second half, but I don't think they had anything else from that. But yeah, we played okay in the first half. Second half, we kind of dropped off a little bit, kind of reduced the speed of the game, made it slower. Made sure Burnley don't really have much going the other way. When Hannibal came on for Burnley, that's when they actually looked a little bit more exciting, and I thought Scott Parker would have potentially made that change a lot sooner, because they looked a bit toothless going forward. So maybe Hannibal, when he came on, he started to look a little bit more exciting. And Kyle Walker, he's a tired right back. Yeah, because I know Kyle Walker's trying to play to pay off the the money off for his baby mama, but yeah, God, he's not looking any bit of the right back that he once was. But overall, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about that Gabriel challenge. I'm not sure how you Arsenal fans think, but that was reckless as hell. I don't know why. He done the same thing against Newcastle when we scored. When he came in for the challenge, and his arm was all the way up here, and I'm just thinking, what are you doing? Just there's that element of Gabriel. Sometimes I just think he's got a bit of a screw loose, and I don't like that. And that challenge could have got him sent off, because that was so reckless. He didn't get anywhere near the ball, and could have just conceded a stupid goal from that, and they nearly scored from that as well from Edwards. But apart from that, everyone was decent, and Kappa didn't really do have much to go off by. Skelly at left wing coming on for Trossard. Interesting there, maybe he's gonna do something. I don't know. Maybe that's just a necessary substitution. I'm trying to think. Ethan came on. He had a chance towards that second half where he had Trossard there. I just thought he could have maybe played Trossard there a little bit. But he had an okay-ish game. Didn't really have much to do. I'm trying to think who else. Norgard came on. When I saw Norgard come, when the camera panned to Norgard and I saw that he's coming on, I was doing this. I was saying, please do not take Rice off and put Norgard, because yeah. But he didn't do that. He took Zubimendi off, and I thought that's more of a like change, which was good. Oh yeah, Marino. Forgot Marino came in the second half. He didn't really have much to do. He just held the ball up for most of our attack, but he didn't really have much else to do. But apart from that 2-0 victory, we just hope that City and Liverpool lose. I'm not sure when City are playing. No, Liverpool. I know Liverpool playing Villa, but I think that's 5:30. So yeah, hopefully Villa do us a favour there and beat City and Liverpool back to back. Hopefully they do that for us, and we can just keep moving forward. Good performance in the first half, but a bit lackluster in the second half. But I guess when you're away from home, it's just about getting those 3 points, especially at Burnley. You saw what they did to Liverpool. Even though Liverpool got the goal in the end, for much of that game, Liverpool didn't really look like they were going to score. So yeah, good victory from us. Move on to the next. I'm not sure who we've got next. We might have a Champions League game in midweek, But yeah, I'm trying to verify my, I keep saying verify, I'm trying to diversify my content a little bit. I'm going to see if I can do, you know, car content as well, do some car reviews as well, because I've got one that's still in my drafts, but which I haven't had the time to go back and edit. But apart from that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.